Hey guys, what's up? Just wanted to do a quick little video here for you today to talk about how I choose which games to feature here on the YouTube channel. So, as you may or may not know, I have a blog that goes along with the YouTube channel that's on Substack, baseballreplayjournal.substack.com. You can find links to that in all of my videos. You can also find links to it on the channel. Go check it out if you have time. If you don't, it's fine. The way that I work the blog is every other day I have a write-up of a game that I've played, and I try to keep that focused on games that are close and that are interesting. Some games that will probably have an impact on the pennant race, other games that almost certainly won't, but are fun to look back at anyway and fun to talk about. The nice thing about that is I can slow down, I can get deep into the storyline of what's happened and talk a lot about sort of the thought that went into certain decisions in my replay. That's something like really no other replay account I've read anywhere else. We'll get more deep into this both on the channel and on the blog as we go forward and talk about some of the things that have come before. But overall, I'm actually quite fond of the way that that works on the blog. Now, a lot of that happens after the fact, though. In fact, the blog, I mean, even as early as we are into these seasons, is about like, I don't know, like 10 to 15 games behind where I am in actually playing the seasons. And so keep that in mind when you go back and look at that. It does mean that I can create a backlog of posts for the blog. The reason why I do that is because I try to limit myself to only one post per day, and I don't just want to have only a single post that covers all of a day's games within the replay. It allows me to pace myself a little bit better, and it's helpful overall. When it comes, though, to games that I feature here on the channel, it's a little bit different of a calculus. So I'll get us into the Windows Virtual Box here, and we'll take a quick look first here at Diamond Mine. So spoiler alert for you, I'm going to show you sort of what the standings look like right now in my replay. We're a couple of days ahead in the replay of where we are on the YouTube channel, so there's some other games that are coming up very soon that you'll see. The way that I look at this and the way that I decide which games to cover or not is I basically will just look at the standings, look at the teams that are competing right now and say, okay, well, we definitely want Red Sox and Yankees game. If those two are playing against each other, we want to show that. The Indians are playing well. They won the American League pennant in 1948. So I'll try to show you Indians games as long as I can, as long as they're still within the hunt of the pennant race. I could probably show you St. Louis Browns and Philadelphia Athletics games. I'm going to probably make a cutoff right there so that I'm not showing you like every single American League game. And as much fun as it is to look at a team like the Senators, we're probably going to back away from showing more Senators games. We've already shown quite a bit. And we'll sort of focus here on what I see as probably the three contenders. If something weird happens with the Browns, then we'll push them in as well. Similarly, with the National League, we're really right now only going to look at the Pirates and the Giants. Now, I know that in real life, it's the Dodgers and the Cardinals who had a great pennant race, right? The problem, though, is that that's not what's happening here in the replay, and I don't want real life to dictate everything that we're going to show as part of the replay. In other words, you're not going to see a whole ton of Brooklyn Dodgers games if they're going to keep playing like this. All right, we'd much rather watch the Pittsburgh Pirates, who just tied the record at the time for the most consecutive wins at the beginning of the season. We want to see how they do going forward. Can they keep this up when they play the Reds, who are in last place? Are they going to hit 10? Can they hit 13? Can they hit 14? Can they set an all-time record, right? We want to experience that together. We want to take advantage of this time when certain teams that might not be expected to be good are playing very, very well, so that we can enjoy it and we can see what happens and we can get the full amount of the story out. So for this particular day, I would show you, and this is what the plan is, Red Sox, Yankees, Indians, Tigers. I played the Senators, Athletics, and Phillies, Dodgers game on my own. Giants, Braves is going to be a big one. I definitely want to show you that. Cardinals, Cubs, I'm going to play on my own. And then Pirates, Reds, I will show you as well. Now, I know that I could show you every single game that I play, right? There are a couple of reasons why I don't want to do that. First of all, I don't really want to replay that will have videos that take like 3 to 4 years to put out. As much fun as that is, I have other projects in mind. You know, we have to at some point in time pick up the pace. The second reason is that I don't want to do more than a single game video a day, and the reason for that is because I don't want my game videos to compete with themselves, right? I've seen a number of channels where people have tried doing this, and the truth is that if you exceed a certain amount of content you put out per day, your content will start blocking your own content, and your audience might not quite know which video to watch and which video to be interested in. So we try to slow it down a bit. We try to work a little bit on the quality quality and focus mostly on playing the game. I know that that's a big risk. I don't record every game, and so it's very much possible that we'll have a really good game that I didn't record at all that you can't see, and then the game that you see ends up being a blowout, like this 8-1 Red Sox Yankees game was. That I believe by the time you see this, either has already come out or is coming up. So there's a little spoiler for you. Now, when we look into NP3, and this is where I have this set up here, NP3, you can see all of my NP3 seasons, is a game that is, we've got a very similar setup here for 1908, but the difference is that since we're early on in the season, I've been showing more games, trying to give you a little bit more of a flavor of what NP3 is like. Going forward, though, honestly, in the American League, we're probably going to focus on New York and Boston, assuming that, this will stay the same once we're done with the games on this specific day. And the National League, the Cubs are kind of starting to run away with it. We might take a little bit of a break for a while from the Giants, Pirates, and from Brooklyn, just so that we're not showing every single game anymore. I do this again in part because I want to make sure that what you're watching is relevant and is interesting, that you're not watching a bunch of teams 500 or below playing against each other. I also want to make sure that I have the flexibility to actually get us a little bit further in the season so that we can see things as they happen. That way we're not stuck in April forever. Anyway, that's sort of the theory that I have, and that's the idea that I have coming away with this. It will make a lot more sense the further we go along with both of these seasons. You'll start to see pennant races really shape out, and ideally we'll be able to see the key games in each of the pennant races, and then we'll also have the flexibility to cover other games that are interesting for other reasons when they come along. That way you can enjoy the full sort of breadth of the big games when it comes to video coverage, and on the blog itself with the write-ups and other things, you will see all of the good games that come along and sort of understand the best of the rest. The blog's always going to be behind the videos. There's nothing I'm going to do to try to correct that or change that or anything like that. And really the idea is that the two will kind of complement each other. That's another thing to talk about really quick. If you've never tried blogging or making a YouTube channel before, if you try doing both like I am now, you'll realize that you have two completely different audiences. Most of my YouTube audience comes from YouTube search and from YouTube recommended videos, not from my blog, even though a lot of the games that I record that I've recorded have been linked to in blog posts, and the video is right there. Conversely, most of the people who are on my blog tend to come from the message board world, and honestly, a lot of the people who are over there are not quite as interested in watching somebody else play the game as people who are already on YouTube. So it's interesting. You have two different audiences. I'm trying my best to sort of mix and match, but for the most part, honestly, a lot of YouTube people don't go to the blog, and most of the blog people don't go over to the video side. So we try to do the best we can for everybody. Anyway, there you have it. It's a little bit of interesting stuff for you, sort of what goes on behind the scenes. That's the approach that I take. The nice thing about it, as you've been able to see in the videos, is that I don't come up to you and say, oh, gee, what game am I going to play, or what season am I going to play? And I don't have to come along and give you a long explanation as to what's happened so far in the season. You can go and watch it in past videos and understand things. And this allows us to get straight to the content we want to see right away, right off the bat, without having to do a whole bunch of other junk and have to worry about this and worry about that. So there you have it. Hope that provides you with some insight, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.